Alright, what's going on, dudes? And welcome to the helicopter mod. This is probably one of the coolest things of all time. Let me go ahead and abandon the helicopter I'm currently in, and we'll get started. So, this sort of just goes beyond everything I thought possible in Minecraft, but I assure you, you're not in some sort of strange dream. These helicopters are actually here, and you can fly them around and shoot weapons and a whole bunch of awesome stuff. So when you install the mod, it gives you the ability to craft up to 5 different types of helicopters. This one sort of work-in-progress Harrier aircraft, as well as this ground laser target designator device, which we'll go over exactly what that does in a few minutes, but we'll start off with the main attraction, which is, of course, the helicopters. Let's begin with this one, which is the AH-64 Apache. You can craft it by putting 5 blocks of iron in the workbench, like so, and out pops this item. Believe it or not, I'm not really an expert on helicopters here, so I'll just be going by the tooltips for the names of them. But when you right-click on the ground with that item in hand, it'll spawn this beautiful helicopter for you. So you probably want to see it in action again, right? Yeah, okay, I figure. So the way you board it is by going into the cockpit area, right-clicking, and now we're inside the aircraft. Blades are spinning, there's exhaust coming out of the bottom of it. It's pretty friggin' cool. So let's lift off. Hold down W to increase thrust on propellers, and we're good to go. And then flying it in the air is pretty easy. You just look in whatever direction you want to go, and that's where it goes. On the top of the HUD, it tells you what your bearing is, how many degrees in what direction you're heading. On the bottom, it gives you your elevation, so 43, 44, 45, yada yada. On the left-hand side, your coordinates, and the 20s on either side, I think, are the pitch of the aircraft, but don't quote me on that because I'm not entirely sure. A few other controls. One, if you press space, you can actually hover in place. The only downside of that is that it really restricts your maneuverability, so you can't really move around all that much. As you'll notice, I'm pretty much just staying completely in place. So that's a bit of a drawback. If you want to move around at the same elevation, it's sort of just a game of feathering the throttle, and this is still practice for me, so you get the idea. Anyway, if you press the C button, you go into night vision mode, which isn't all that useful during the day. Let's exit out of that. And also, if you press V, you can deploy some flares. You can see the flare text is blinking now, and voila, some streams of smoke going towards the ground. I assume that the flares probably are for SMP, which I'm not sure if it exists yet with this mod, but if you were in a battle with other helicopter people and they were firing targeted weapons to you, I assume that the flares would sort of serve as patsy for those weapons, so they'd hopefully hit the flares instead of you. So you're probably interested in the guns, right? Yeah, so let's get into the guns. So right now, you'll notice in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the M230 Chain Gun equipped. It says 15 out of 15, which is how much ammo you have in the clip. And if we right-click, I hope you can sort of see the bullets coming out there. Now that we went through a clip, there's a short cooldown when it turns red, and it reloads the clip. Let's try to like go close to a mountain or something and see if you can see the bullets. You can hear the explosive sound. It doesn't actually blow any weapon like TNT, but nonetheless, there you go. If you had any mobs in front of you, it would most certainly take them out. To switch weapons, you press the G key, and now, as you'll notice, we have the Hydra 70mm rocket equipped, which is pretty friggin' cool. It's like basically firing off TNT from your helicopter. Kinda gnarly. So once you get through a clip, again, the more powerful the weapon, the longer it'll actually take to reload. None of the reload times are obscene, but it just takes a couple seconds longer, and now we're good to go again. Fire off 19, and then it'll go through a short reload, and then we'll be good to go once more. So let's switch to the next weapon, which is the Stinger. Now, you'll notice we have the green bar under our target finder on this. That means it's a target lock-on weapon, so we can't just fire it freely. And unfortunately, I haven't been able to figure out what exactly it wants me to lock onto. I've tried it on mobs, I've tried it on other helicopters that I've spawned, and the only conclusion I can come to is it has to be for SMP to shoot down other players, but we don't have any other players here. That's my best guess. I may be wrong, but I can't figure out what else to target it onto. And finally, we have the Hellfire, which one is a target lock. This one, as you can see, it still has the green bar, which We'll get to actually using that in a couple seconds once it turns to night and mobs spawn. But this one should be manual fire. There we go. And this one's pretty cool because the missiles actually do shoot fiery things. So there we go. You can see the explosion over there, and it just has a slightly longer reload time because it is a slightly more powerful weapon. So now we can swap on back to the target lock. Let's descend and try to lock onto the spider and creeper over there. Come on. Oh, God dang it. They're in the divot on the ground. Here, let's try to get this guy. Boom. There we go. You'll notice it fills up with red as it locks on, and then it fires once it reaches the end. So the final weapon on this helicopter is actually, it's sort of like an airstrike call, so let's call it on some mobs. Where would be a good spot? Right there. Boom. So we're actually going to get some planes coming in and taking out that area. It's super cool. So yeah, that's how that works. I'm actually going to wait for it to reload, and then I'll call it once more and actually go on the ground to watch it happen. So right there. And then let me abandon, go on the ground, and you can actually see it happen. It's pretty freaking cool. All right. So that's it for that aircraft, and that was a little bit of an overview of the controls as well. So when we go over to the next set, we can just take a quick look at the weapons, and we'll sort of bounce from helicopter to helicopter. So let's now go to the little one over here, which is called the AH-6 Killer Egg. This is the crafting recipe, and let's jump right in. This one doesn't have many new weapons in comparison to the one we were just in, the Apache. The only difference is the chain gun, so we can try to shoot the spider. Oh, he got out of our range. My helicopter maneuvering is a little bit subpar, so it's kind of difficult to hit these guys. This one has 100 rounds in the clip, and yeah, it's just a chain gun. Basically it, no explosives, just has to hit your target directly, and that's how it works. The rest of the weapons on this one, however, are things that we've seen. It only has 3 total. So that's that for this one. Let's move on to the next one. I guess we'll take the big one, the big poppy out front. So this is, well, apparently I didn't put the actual spawn item in there. So let's go ahead and grab it really quickly. I think this is the SH-60 Seahawk, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just really quickly check this, and then I'll know for sure. No, I guess it is not that one. It is the KA-27 Helix. That's what this one is. So if we enter it, let's check out the weapons it's got. All the helicopters have a slightly different personality. I guess that's how I describe it. They just fly a little bit differently, and I did not mean to actually hit left shift there and abandon the helicopter, so let's chase after you and reboard you. Mistakes have been made. All right, come on, land, buddy. So the helicopters actually do have health. I can fly through the blades uninjured. They do have health. If you'll notice in the, come on, let me board. There we go. In the bottom right-hand corner, it says 100 out of 100. That's actually the health of the aircraft, but it's pretty durable. So even though we're crashing it, it doesn't really take much damage. All right, so this is the S5m Rocket. It's basically like the Hydra. This, I think, is a bomb. Let me see really quickly. Yes, it is. So if I exit, boom. Now I have to chase after it again. I shouldn't have done that, but I wanted you to see what the bomb did. Okay, so we're back inside. That was the plab bomb thing. This is just another rocket. This is sort of similar to the one that I actually used at the beginning to take out the creepers, but it wasn't this aircraft, it was the other one. So hold on, let's do another shot at some mobs, and this has a longer cooldown because it is a super powerful weapon. Here, I'm gonna try to, I'll use it on the temple. Boom, it's gone. And then we're back to the start. So that's the weaponry on this helicopter. Let's move on to the final two, and then we'll get to the Harrier, as well as the ground laser target designator thing. All right, so this one is actually the fastest of the bunch, at least in my testing. It's the EC665 Tiger. This is the crafting recipe, and let's fly it around a little bit. So here we go, lift off once more. It has the M230 Chain Gun, which we've already experienced. You do notice how it's a lot faster, though, taking out the zombie. It again has the Hydra-like rocket, although it has a 22 round clip that you can fire pretty quickly, and reloads pretty fast as well. It also has a stinger, which again I can't seem to get to work in all my attempts to do so. There is a Hi there, we have a co-pilot. Are you gonna help me fly? Oh my god, this is the best. Alright, he's gonna help me fly around. Co-pilot Spider to the rescue. This is hilarious. And then this also has the Hellfire. This is the lock-on, and it also has the manual shoot Hellfire. So yeah, those are the weapons on the EC665 Tiger with our friendly Spider co-pilot who's really helping us out here. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm going to have to abandon you. I'm going to go ahead and... Oh, he's gone. Oh, he's out and he's dead. I'm so sorry you didn't have a parachute like me. So, final aircraft here, the final helicopter, I should say, which is the SH-60 Seahawk. This is the crafting recipe, and this is the one I used at the very beginning to take out the pen of creepers. We've already seen the Hellfire, of course. Boom, there we go. And this is the bomb that I used. It's the Penguin. Boom. Probably the most massive weapon of them all. It's kind of awesome. And it also has a bomb that I can't seem to get to work very often. I've gotten it to work, but I don't know the criteria for actually getting it to deploy. Anyway, it's like a bomb. It's just like the other bomb that we saw, and that's what it is. And back to the beginning. So that's the weapons on this one. Let's quickly go back to the final helicopter, or actually this was the final helicopter. Let's go to the Harrier, and we'll check that out. So as you can see from the lack of a texture, this is a work in progress, but it's pretty cool because you actually right-click on the cockpit, and it has like an opening animation. Super gnarly. So let's board it, and comes back down and closes on us, and we're good to go. So this one's really fast, and it has a really, really cool set of weaponry. So right now, we have an explosive set, or an explosive minigun. How cool is that? God, it's freaking awesome. See you later, guys. And switch to the next weapon, which is just the Hydra, which you've seen a bunch already. And now it also has the... is this the bomb? No, I think this is the missile. This is the missile, which is lock-on. So let's try to lock on to... I don't know. Oh, God. Let's try to lock on to someone over here. Yeah, okay. Come on. Oh, okay. This might not be... I guess this is another one similar to the Stinger, and that it would have to be like an enemy aircraft in order to lock on. But this weapon I have tested before, and it's super cool. It's let's use it really quickly. Let's make sure this is a last weapon. It is, because I'm gonna dismount the aircraft as I do this. The cluster bomb, and here we go. Yeah, quite the finale. So that's it for the weaponry in all the different aircraft. Let's end with the ground laser target designator thing, and then that will be it. So the way you craft this thing is like so, and what it does is basically, if you remember the first aircraft, the Apache we were using, it had the way to designate an airstrike. That's basically what this does, except it's using a ground-based device. So we'll right-click to board it, and then we can zoom in with Z, select our target, right-click, and then let's get out of here and take a closer look at the airstrike that results. So yeah, that's that. That was the helicopter mod. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. It's a pretty freaking awesome mod. If you want more info about it, you can check the link in the description. It's on a Japanese forum, but you should be able to find the links in English at the very top, or use Google Translate as well, whatever floats your boat. But yeah, if you've enjoyed, a rating would be super very much appreciated. I hope you enjoyed. It was a super sweet mod. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, dudes, and I'll see you next time.